We here with Ep.4, Knee Deep in the Game. Today I got a special guest, not just any guest, our first football guest, four-star quarterback, top 50 player in the country, Maryland commit, Malik Washington.
Sir.
Now, before we dive into it, man, if you got any kids, nieces, or nephews that's looking for basketball training, check out Bmore Basketball Academy, man. We the best player development program in the DMV area. We taking kids' games to the next level no matter where they at. Malik Washington, man, give him a better introduction than what I gave you.
I mean, yeah, man, Malik. I go to Spaulding, play quarterback. Been doing this for a long time. Really, just playing quarterback. Trying to lead the guys, and excited to be here.
Absolutely, man. Let's dive right into it, man. Yesterday you was at the Maryland game versus USC. It was a big-time comeback from Maryland, man. Talk about what that atmosphere was like.
I mean, it was crazy. Like CQ Stadium really showed out. Going down in the half, we were down, able to come back and win. I think it's like the largest fourth quarter comeback win since like 2020 or something like that. So it was great to see, fans rush the field, all this other stuff. It was amazing.
For sure. And for the kids that's, watching from at home, man, that might watch this podcast and get motivated, like, how were you treated there, man? What was the hospitality like being a recruit, being somebody that's going to be there next year, man? How was you treated there yesterday?
I mean, it was amazing. Really, like, they showed out. They showed love, like, as they always do. It's really like family up there. That's part of the reason why I wanted to go there in the first place, was because, like, I always felt like that was my home. I always felt like I could be, accepted there for who I am. And going up there, of course, they show love, as always.
For sure. Did you get a chance to tap in with Derek Queen yesterday?
Yeah, I actually saw him. I was walking around. Like, I went to the concession stand and I'm seeing him, just saying what's up.
For sure. Did that play any part in you committing to Maryland? Or?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of two separate worlds, really, like, the football world and the basketball world. But it'd be cool to have somebody else I know up there.
Absolutely, man. Take us into what it feel like to be a top 50 player in the country, man, and, give us the inside scoop of what it took to get there, man, and to be in such elite company.
I mean, to be honest, really no, like, special sauce or anything like that, too. It's hard work and dedication. I know it sounds corny. People say it all the time, it's cliche, but that's really all it takes is hard work and dedication. Put your head down and work. Like, I wasn't, the most highly ranked kid, coming up, and they do all the youth rankings and all that stuff. Even freshman year and a little bit in the sophomore year, like, nobody's really paying attention to me. So it was just like I put my head down, I worked, and tried to make the best of it that I could. And, super blessed, super grateful to be where I'm at now, but this is just the beginning, really.
For sure, absolutely. And, I could imagine to be where you at now, the top 50 player in the country, four-star athlete, you had to have a tight circle to get there, man. Who was in your corner that, helped you get to the level that you at today?
I mean, really, it's a lot of my family, to be honest. Like, I could name basically everybody in my family who's always been there for me. But, of course, my mom, my dad, they were always there for me. Aunts, uncles, grandparents. Like, everybody always pushed me to be better, and they always held me down. Like, no matter, good game or bad game, they telling me that they love me. And little things like that after the game that means so much to me.
For sure. And, I know to get this podcast scheduled, it was kind of tough because you got a tight schedule. And I'm pretty sure you got a bunch of people calling you left and right. How do you weed out, what's real and what's not,
I mean, to be honest, it's like just talk to somebody. Really, like, I can kind of feel the vibe, the genuine vibe or not. Like, whether somebody just, in it to try to use me or, like, they actually genuinely care about me. Like, little things like that. And, you may slip up here and there and talk to the wrong person or miss the right person. But you also ask your family, like, hey, yeah, I think I should do this, and get multiple inputs, not just your own, because, they're going to look out for you and have the best interest at hand.
And who are those people that you go on to kind of, get feedback from? Is it your mom, your dad? Who are those
really
people?
Both of them, to be honest. Like, I'll call them, like, hey, like, this guy reached out and trying to do something or trying to work a deal or anything like that. And I'll ask him, what do y'all think about it? Like, and they'll look more into it, or they'll talk to him themselves. So I don't have to worry about that and have to focus on, like, playing and all this other stuff. I can just really worry about football.
For sure. Absolutely, man. Take us to some of your goals that you have, for the ending of this season coming up. You guys are off to a great start. It's looking like you guys are going to win the championship, but, how do you make sure that happens and that you guys don't fall to the wayside of, thinking too far ahead?
I mean, our coach really stays on us about, like, not being an entitled team, because entitled teams never win. So it's just like the standard that we have set, like, it's always there, and the standard's always going to be there. So we try to uphold each other to that standard. From the freshmen on the team to the seniors, like, we're all held to the same standard. We're all allowed to hold each other accountable, which I think is what helps make us a great team, because if I mess up, anybody can call me out on it the same way I can call them out on it. And it allows us to just get so much better, being able to compete and practice. Like, our practices are kind of like our games because of how much we compete and we really go at it. So we get out there on Friday nights. That's just a reward.
Absolutely. You one step away from making your dreams come true. You're already going to college for free. You're going to be up Maryland next year. How do you make sure that you seal a deal and get to the next level? I can imagine that your goal is to become an NFL player. How do you make sure that happens for you?
Learn as much as I can really from anyone that I can learn it from. Like, information is so valuable, and relationships are also very valuable. So sitting there talking to people, asking them what they know, and like little pieces of information that can help me get there. And of course, the hard work and dedication piece I talked about earlier, like it's gonna take it. I have to up it even more now. Like, to get to where I am, it was cool, but now it's time to push it even further.
For sure. And if you had to look at yourself, what would you say your biggest hurdle right now would be to take that leap?
Probably just not getting complacent. Like, I've had a decent amount of success throughout high school. It's been super fun, but now it's on to the next. When you get to college, nobody cares about what you did in high school. So just staying on myself, making sure I don't get complacent, and learning that basically I got to start over from ground zero and work my way back up.
Man, that's a great answer, man. Great answer, man. You talk with a ton of wisdom, man. Like, it's really good to hear. You don't hear a lot of kids at your age that talk with so much wisdom. Like, who are you? I just really want to get deeper. Like, who was that from?
Of course, my parents, but partially me. I've always kind of felt like an old soul. I know we was talking about earlier, me singing the older music, but it's just like I kind of realized, like, going through life, like you gotta grow up faster than your age actually is, especially in this world of football and like the recruiting and all this other stuff, and even outside of football, just being a young black man, like we gotta be ages ahead as far as maturity goes, because everybody wants to push us behind. So it's just I kind of had to learn that myself and learn how to articulate myself and speak my mind.
Absolutely, man. And you do it very, very great. And you take me into my next point. Just being a black quarterback, right? What's the pressures behind that? It's kind of, we see it a lot more now, with Lamar Jackson and, Patrick Mahomes. But, what's the pressures of being a black quarterback and having to perform day in and day out? And also the intellectual side that comes into it. We're not always looked at as quarterbacks. Sometimes they want to throw us at the more athletic positions.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about being so cerebral to play that quarterback position.
I mean, now, like you said, it's easier just because of we have, guys in the league and guys in college who are doing it that, kind of paved the way for us to be able to do it, guys that came before them. But, yeah, they always think, oh, we're just athletic guys that can happen to throw a football. But, I mean, the intellectual piece is huge because of how we're looked at. Like, we have to be actually a lot smarter than people realize just because they think, oh, we're only back here because we're athletes. So now it's like we got to sit there and pick apart defenses and little things like that. And, of course, we have the athleticism that will help out, but that's just like a plus. And that's how I play my game. Like, I'm not doing a whole bunch of running, a whole bunch of scrambling. I want to sit in the pocket and deliver. And, if you force me out, okay, cool, now I'll go make a play. But that's just how I play.
And that's one thing that I really love about your game. I got a chance to watch some highlights, and I don't get me wrong, I do like quarterbacks that scramble, but I really like to see quarterbacks that study the game and can pick apart defenses, and you super poise in that pocket. Who are some guys that you looked up to, coming up watching guys at quarterback position? Who was your role models?
Really recently, kind of C.J. Stroud. I love the way he plays his game. I love the way he holds himself as a man of God. Like, he's just a really good person to look up to for anybody out there trying to find somebody to study. Of course, you got the Aaron Rodgers, you got the Tom Brady's, and those guys, like, they're, the poised pocket passers who are able to pick apart defenses. Like, they've all helped me get to the point where I am now.
For sure. And I want to talk about your quarterback trainer and give him some light here that we talked about before coming in here. Like, talk about you and his relationship. And you said something really important that, he was the one that took your game to the next level. Talk about what that was like and, what you and his relationship is like.
Yeah, my guy, Coach Aaron, started working with him like 8th grade. And I'll never forget, like, my first session, I went out there. I threw, like, my first 3 passes in the dirt. It was bad. It was horrible. Because, like, it was a bunch of new stuff that I wasn't used to doing. Like, before I used to just drop back and throw the ball as hard as I could, as far as I could, and call it a day. And, we sat down, really, like, broke down some of the more, like, technical stuff that we had to do. And, like I said, I've been working with him ever since. So our relationship now is more like it's like a mentor thing. Like, I can ask him about advice, about life. Like, it's not always just about football. We laugh, we joke, have a great time. And I'm really appreciative of all the things that he does for me. Like, I might not say it to him all the time, but I do appreciate him.
For sure. And if you could, man, give his social media a shout out, man. I want to use this platform to, draw a light to different guys' businesses and things like that. So if you could shout him out, man, do it right now.
I think it's Coach Aaron, R-A-H, at Coach Aaron, R-A-H on Instagram. I'm pretty sure it might be the same thing on Twitter. Yeah, go check my guy. He does a lot of quarterback stuff. He'll break down films, different things like that, talk about why you might be having certain pains, like elbow pains, injuries, all this stuff, how to prevent it. And, it'll give little gems here and there.
For sure. Let's keep rolling, man. So, we living in a new generation now where NIL is super big and it's really playing a big role on, athletes' decisions on what schools they go into. What role did NIL play in your decision to go to Maryland, if it played any at all?
I mean, to be honest, it really didn't play a role. Like, I'm excited to go and play football. That's what I've always wanted to do. Like, the money piece, it'll happen when it happens, you know. And if I do what I'm supposed to do or get to NFL anywhere, or making a lot more money than I would be making in college. So it's like, it never really played a huge part to me. Like, my family is good. Like, it's not like we were super needing of that money. Like, of course, it's super nice to have. It'd be amazing, you know, a luxury. But at the end of the day, they always told me, like, it's not something we need, but it would, of course, it'd be something nice to have. But so they never really put any pressure on me to try to find, you know, the school that's going to give me the most money or anything like that. It's always been go where you feel the best, where you feel like at home, where you feel like you can play.
For sure, absolutely. And you know, to give a kid a lot of money, and especially somebody with your status, like your NIL bag is going to grow tremendously the more years you in school. You know, talk about, you know, how do you keep your motivation, you know, in college to still get to the NFL if you can leave, you know, college, you know, up 6 to 7 figures? How do you stay motivated that the NFL is still the main goal?
Because that's always been my goal. Money has never really been like that goal. Like, I never wanted to make the NFL so I can make the most amount of money and live a luxurious life. I wanted to make it because it's something that I like. It's something I put my mind to. It's a challenge that I set for myself. So it's like my motivation is to complete that challenge. It's not so much as like, oh, I need to, you know, make a couple M's and that way I can, you know, buy this expensive house and these cars and all that stuff. Because that's never really meant that much to me. I've never been really a material person. So it's just like I want to get there because I set that goal for myself. So once I put my mind to something, like I gotta go do it.
Wow, man, I'm about to shed a tear on this podcast, man. Where have you been my whole life? Man, that's amazing. And you know, while you at it, can you just talk about, because like I'm seeing a lot of brothers like and sisters too, like, you know, get the bag and kind of just spend frivolously. And it's definitely a lot of money, but it's not annual,
Yeah.
right? It's not every year you're not going to make that. So, and I'm not saying like don't spend and don't have fun and don't buy nice things, but just having some financial intelligence, you know, again, it's not something that you're making every year. It's not annual. Like, how do you have somebody that you're talking to about your finances and making sure that you're good after football?
Yeah, 100%. My family, like a lot of them are kind of, you know, into like financially literate, so they know a lot about like, you know, little things like that, like where to put your money at different type of banks, you know, different type of investments, little things like that that I let them, you know, kind of handle, or not really like by themselves, but you know, we'll talk to each other about it, and kind of go from there. Because like you said, people, you know, they get money and they don't know what to do with it. Because you can't just keep all that money sitting in your account, because you're gonna use it, you're not even gonna pay attention to it because you think, oh, it's only $100, only $100. That adds up. So it's like little things like that that, you know, you kind of got to put that money away, you know, just kind of for safekeeping, let your money make money for itself.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like somebody like you, like I know you're gonna make it to the NFL, and but even for the, you know, the average athlete's lifespan, you know, their career is over early 30s, mid 30s, and it's like it's a ton of life to be left to be lived. So if you end at 35, you still got 40, 50 years of living left, and you know you want to make sure that you spending um, with that mindset, knowing that this money isn't going to last forever if I don't invest it the right way.
Yeah, like we said, you got to invest your money really. Like, it's not gonna last forever. One day the ball gonna stop spinning. You know, you're gonna stop making tackles. You're gonna stop making blocks. Like, it's gonna be over. You know, hopefully God willing that, you know, it's a long time. You know, it might make it to early 40s, like with the way people are playing now. But it's just like
Absolutely.
it's always gonna end. So it's never gonna go on forever. So you gotta really kind of set up to where like you're set, your kids are set, your grandkids are set, and you know you can really build that generational wealth.
For sure, man. And now I'm curious to like, what do you do outside of football, man? Because you super intelligent, man. You talk with a lot of what's the word, man? You just talk with a lot of knowledge, man, and your vocabulary is very fluent. Like, what do you do outside of football?
I like to read a lot, actually. I read. I like poems, like little things like that that kind of keep me tranquil, you know, keep me calm. And before, like when I'm off the field, like I can be Malik. Like I don't have to be, you know, Malik the football player. I can be Malik the person, and that helps me a lot. Just so when I'm on the field, like I know how to stay calm.
For sure, man. What books are you tapped into right now?
I'm more of like a novel reader. So like I just read like the whole Percy Jackson series and like the continuations. So it's like I think it's like 17 in total. So I'm on the 17th one right now. About to finish that up. I read this like adult novel called Unwind, or like young adult novel called Unwind, which is super good. Like dystopian world, like little things like that. Like I'm more interested in.
For sure, for sure. Have you always been a reader? Is this something that your parents kind of, you know, immersed you in as you was a kid, and you?
I mean, I've always had like a super big imagination as a kid, so I used to read and like I could kind of see the stories unfolding like in front of me. So it's like that always helped me. So when I'm reading different things, like I can imagine the characters speaking to one another. I can imagine the settings. Like it's not like I'm just reading words on a page. I kind of dive into the book like I'm actually there.
Wow. Interesting. Now I'm curious, like, if it wasn't football, what else would you be doing?
Uh,
What would be your job your job if you wasn't playing football?
to be honest, I'd probably be on TV somewhere. I think like whether it's acting or broadcast or whatever it is. I feel like that was something I was always kind of interested in. I could see my face on TV, little things like that.
For sure, absolutely, absolutely, man. Let's dive into what's in the playlist before your games, man. What's getting you ready to play and go to war?
Uh, to be honest, I'm more of a calm person. So like I feel like a lot of quarterbacks are like that. You can't be super hyped up before the game.
Yeah,
So it'd be like some older R&B, some like Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, little things like that. Just some J. Cole, like it'll get me hype enough, but it still keep me calm enough to be able to think.
man, you had to be in the cars with your mom growing up with the Lauryn Hill, man.
Yeah.
I know because I stayed in the car with my mom, and I'm still a Lauryn Hill fan to this day, man.
Yeah, I've been on like a little Lauryn Hill craze recently. Like I, picked it up for a while, dropped it for a little bit, and I feel like everybody's kind of like that with music. Like you might like something, listen to it for too much, and then I gotta leave it alone for a little bit. So when I come back to it, it hits again. So like, "Tell Him" by Lauryn Hill, I probably listen to that song like every day for like 2 weeks.
Absolutely,
Yeah, that's my jam.
man. What's your schedule look like? Before we got in here, we talked about your crazy schedule. Like, what does your schedule look like, and what does it take to be an elite quarterback like yourself? Like, take us through, what your days of training look like, and what time are you going to bed? How are you taking care of your body? Like, take us through what it looks like to be a 4-star quarterback.
I mean, so in school it's a little bit easier because it's less on my plate. So in school, of course, wake up in the morning, go to school, all that good stuff. Practice after school. I might, do another workout maybe after practice, depending on how I'm feeling. But in the summer, it's a little more hectic. I'll wake up in the morning. I might work out early in the morning. Lift or something like that. Go get some lunch, chill out, stretch. Do a little recovery, then throw in the afternoon. Maybe watch some film, like little things like that. But it's never too much. Like I always give myself enough room to be able to relax. And I don't want to be going to bed, super late or anything like that. So I always try to find enough time to be able to get what I have to get done and still time to be a kid.
And what does it look like in the off season?
Really, it's a lot more hectic, a lot more like vigorous, to be honest. Like especially now, like that I'm about to go into college soon. It's gonna be, lifting probably once, twice a day. Stretching super heavy on recovery. Getting the mental, all that stuff together, just because I'm about to prepare for one of the hardest things I ever had to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that takes us into our next question. Like, what's the goal going into Maryland? And tell us, what can we expect from you up there?
I mean, first is to get my degree. To be honest with you, like I wanna get there and say I'm a college educated man, and so that way I can set myself up for life. Really, outside of football, like we said, football is gonna end one day, so I might have to go pick up another job just so I can keep that income coming in, and I don't have to worry about spending what I made in the league. And then secondly is to go and play. Like I mean, at the end of the day, I love playing football. I want to play football. So I want to go up there and give it everything that I have. Whether it's playing first year, playing second, whatever it is, like I just want to play. So I wait my turn. If I get a chance to go take it, I'm gonna go take it.
Any things that you're reviewing right now that you're saying, I got to fix this hole in my game to make sure that I'm ready for that level?
Really the mental side, to be honest. Like of course, high school is a little bit more dimmed down just because of like who you're playing against and different things like that. But in college, like everybody was the best player in their high school team basically. So it's like you get out there, the game speeds up. So I'm working on really just slowing that down, being able to work through different progressions, keep my feet tied to my eyes, and be able to deliver the ball.
For sure. And I just want to go into, because before we got in here, we was just talking about like, you didn't grow up an elite football player. It was something that you worked super hard to get to. And I think a lot of kids get discouraged when things aren't working for them early. So talk about just going through that storm and getting to where you at now. And that I know you said 5th, 6th grade, you weren't considered one of the top football players in the country. It's something that you had to work towards.
Yeah, I mean, something somebody told me once. I can't remember who told me to it, but like to get to the top, you got to climb the hill first. So
say that one more time, bro. That's different.
To get to the top, you gotta climb the hill first.
Jesus.
So it's like it's never easy to get there. It's like if you start at the bottom looking up, you're like, man, I want to be up there. The only way to get up there is to work your way up there. You're not gonna be able to just close your eyes and I'm here, like I made it. And some people are blessed to start higher up than you are, so they might start higher up the hill. You might start all the way down here, but at the end of the day, like if you want to reach the top, you might gotta do a little more work than them. But because you got to do that more work when you get there, it's gonna be so much more rewarding.
Man, that's different, bro. Bro, you gotta tell me where you got this knowledge from, man. I don't get many people that come on this interview and talk with the fluency that you talk with, man. Like, seriously, can I tap into who is giving you this?
I mean, like I said, it's my parents, they raised me well. And like I said, I've always liked reading and little things like that, like reading different poems here and there and just seeing stuff like that, about life that can really help you, like I said, like speak fluently, different things like that.
And it's great to get it on camera because I think so many times we don't think that we can be an athlete and be intelligent, right? And sometimes we are scared to show that side of ourselves because we feel like we got to put on this persona for social media. So to see you come in here and talk with such intelligence and fluency is super amazing, and it's a big up to your parents, man. A black queen, a black father that raised such a great son, man. It's super super amazing. You owe them the world, man, because you were really put together, man, 110%. Before we close again, like, tell us when the next game, guys can come out and check you out, and just give us a one more rundown on, how you guys are looking to finish the season this year.
Yeah, next home game is actually senior night. So one of my last times playing on the field, October 25th, 7 o'clock at Archbishop Spaulding High School, right over there in Severn, Maryland. So it's not super far from really anywhere. Yeah, I mean, to close the season, we're looking to keep up what we've been doing. Like I said, the standard is set. The standard is to win. So now we have to uphold that standard and push it even higher. And we talk a lot at the school about, leaving places better than we found it. So it's whether it's in the classroom, picking up after yourself, or in the weight room, cleaning the weights up, or even in a program, like leaving the program better than you found it. So, we came in, freshman year, it was how it was. We're going to elevate it each year. We're going to leave it better than we found it. And the next guy should come in and do the same.
Man, there you have it, man. Malik Washington, man. He was on knee deep in the game. Man, everybody check him out this Friday, man. Homecoming, man. There you go.